This video series is designed to introduce English students to contemporary books and novels in an attempt to broaden their reading interests and to fulfill the IEB requirements for which students have to read an additional 7 books by their grade 12 year. Every book that I recommend in this series, I have read myself. Today's recommendation is Sherman Alexie's hilariously sad novel, The Absolutely True Diary of a Part-Time Indian. It's an easy read, but be warned, there are some vulgarities in the text. Sherman Alexie is a Native American who grew up on the Spokane Indian Reservation in Welpinit, Washington. He was born with hydrocephalitis, that's water on the brain, and he underwent a brain operation at the age of 6 months and was not expected to survive. And when he did beat the odds, doctors predicted that he would live with severe mental retardation. Though he showed no signs of this, he suffered severe side effects, such as seizures and uncontrollable bedwetting throughout his childhood. In spite of all of this, Alexie learned to read by the age of 3 and devoured novels such as John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath by the age of 5. All these things ostracized him from his peers, and he was often the brunt of other kids' jokes on the reservation. As a teenager, after finding his mother's name written in a textbook he was assigned at the Welpinit High School, Alexie made a conscious decision to attend high school off the reservation in nearby Reardon, where he knew he would get a better education. At Reardon High, he says he was the only Indian except for the school mascot. He excelled academically and became a star player on the basketball team. At university, where he was studying to become a medical doctor, he stumbled into a poetry workshop at university. He realized he'd found his new career choice. He is now an award-winning, best-selling writer. He has written film scripts, produced movies, recorded an album of music based on the songs in his novel Reservation Blues, and he is the current world heavyweight bout poetry champion. As if singing, writing, and movie making isn't enough, he's also a popular stand-up comedian. He was acknowledged as one of the top writers of the 21st century by the New Yorker magazine. I think you, as critical thinkers, will appreciate one of his most repeated quotes. "My only purpose is to teach children to rebel against authority figures." Sherman Alexie is an important voice. Make the effort to hear what he has to say. The front cover of the novel, in my opinion, is not a good reflection of the story inside. The back cover blurb, however, does give a better idea as to the plot. It reads as follows: "Son, you're going to find more and more hope the farther and farther you walk away from this sad, sad reservation." So Junior, a budding cartoonist who is already beaten up regularly for being a skinny kid with glasses, decides to go to the rich all-white high school miles away. He'll be a target there as well, but maybe he'll also get a chance to prove everyone wrong. This is the incredible story of a Native American boy's attempt to break away from the life he thought he was destined to live. The main character is Junior, a Spokane Indian teenager with a disability that results in his being bullied. He takes refuge from the prejudices and injustices that he experiences by drawing cartoons. In this cartoon, he depicts the struggle of living in 2 worlds, the advantages of his white schoolmates in their suburban world, and the harsh realities that his Indian friends face on the reservation. There are two major settings, Welpinit Indian Reservation and Rearden High School. The first half of the story, and the majority of the book, takes place in Welpinit, a run-down, poverty-stricken Spokane Indian reservation in Washington. It's a place of alcoholics and large families, where everybody knows everything about everybody else. It's a place where dreams do not exist. It's just assumed that you're born there, grow up there, and die there, and it's the same for everyone who lives there. The people are defeated. The second half of the story takes place at Rearden High School, a mostly white school 20 miles away from Welpinit. There, dreams are plentiful, and everyone has a bright future. The students get good grades, have good friends, and have a good life. And this is where Junior decides to transfer to in order to turn his life around. The first page of the novel, which is written in first-person journal format, gives us some information about the disability Junior was born with. He explains, "I was born with water on the brain." Okay, so that's not exactly true. I was actually born with too much cerebral spinal fluid inside my skull. But cerebral spinal fluid is just the doctor's fancy way of saying brain grease. And brain grease works inside the lobes like car grease works inside an engine. It keeps things running smooth and fast. But weirdo me, I was born with too much grease inside my skull, and it got all thick and muddy and disgusting, and it only mucked up the works. My thinking and breathing and living engine slowed down and flooded. I thoroughly enjoyed this novel. I'd advise you to read other works by Sherman Alexie. In order to receive more book recommendations, please subscribe to the Mrs. M Teaches English YouTube channel, like the video, and share with your friends. Until the next book review video, keep safe, adhere to social distancing regulations, wear your mask, and sanitize your hands as often as possible.